Hello guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Lois. Well, today we are going to talk about ways by which we can control pests and diseases in our urban gardens. One of you suggested that I talk about it, and today is the day. Remember guys, I am not the expert, but I am always very happy to help you whichever ways that I can. Before we venture into that, I would like to welcome those who have just joined the family, and of course those who may come across this video. We are all about urban farming, but every now and then we venture into other things, so please feel welcome. If you haven't subscribed yet, please consider doing so, especially if this kind of content interests you. Not forgetting those who have been with me throughout this journey. I truly appreciate you guys, and I believe that there is so much more in store for us in the near and far future. And of course, I hope you'll be with me to experience everything, every step of the way. As we start off with our topic of today, I want to remind you that as much as I advocate for urban farming, I also advocate for environmental conservation. So that means I am very mindful of the agricultural practices that we choose. So when it comes to control of pests and diseases in our urban gardens, you will not find me talking about the names of the different chemicals that are used to kill or treat the plants in the gardens. So we advocate for organic means of control, which also helps to conserve the environment, because these other chemicals pollute the environment and are also a danger to our health. Remember guys, there is a drastic climate change that is happening all over the world, and use of these chemicals are a contribution towards that. There are a number of methods that we can use for pest and disease control in our urban gardens. I cannot tackle them all, but I'll give you a few that I truly believe work so that you can try it out in your own gardens. Whichever methods you choose to use in your urban gardens, it depends entirely on you and your commitment towards urban farming. So yeah, let us start with number one. When you're starting out your urban garden, one of the things that you should consider are the plant varieties that you want to have in your garden, and also where you obtain your seeds from, because that will also be very important when it comes to controlling pests and diseases in your garden. So I would advise that you choose tolerant or resistant plant varieties to have in your garden, and also make sure that your seeds are healthy. If you're not sure about that, you can also conduct some treatments yourself. The hot water treatment, for example, if you know how to do it, you can try that. If you don't know, you can also consult somebody who does and helps you out or teaches you how to do it, so that you can do it subsequently when you get seeds later on again. So let us make sure that we use healthy seeds so that we don't have problems later on. When it comes to choosing the plant variety, it might be hard since you want to plant this and that. We don't want to limit ourselves when it comes to growing of everything. So let us just try as much as possible to use healthy seeds when we start out. Some people would suggest that we plant timely. That means we have to time a particular period where certain vectors are not in place, etc., etc. But for me personally, as an advocate for urban farming, I encourage everybody to have food growing throughout the year. So there is not going to be timely planting. Yeah, so that might not work for us who want to have evergreen gardens and having vegetables in our gardens throughout the year. So yeah, that might not work so much, but let us just focus on the others that will work. The other thing that you should do is to always keep your soil fertile. And there are a number of things that we can do to ensure that we have healthy, fertile soils. One of the ways to keep our soils fertile is to practice crop rotation. And that means you plant maize this season, you plant beans next season, you plant another thing the other season. But that might not work out so well for us since our spaces are very small and we want to maximize production. So what I would suggest is we practice inter or mix cropping. Yeah, the reason as to why crop rotation helps to improve soil fertility is because, for example, if you planted maize or sunflower in one particular garden this season, maize is one of the plants that really takes in a lot of nutrients and depletes it eventually if you keep planting that over and over without doing any other thing like application of manure or something like that. But if you change and put, for example, black-eyed peas, that is a leguminous plant which helps to fix nitrogen into the soil. So that will positively contribute towards the fertility of the soil. But when you do, since we are in the urban setting with very little spaces, we cannot afford to just plant one particular plant in this space. We want to maximize the production of that particular garden. You can practice intercropping. So by mix cropping, that means you have a variety of plants growing in the same garden. That is similar to companion planting, because still you have a variety of plants growing in the same space, and that helps also to control pests and diseases in a number of ways. So this is where we get to hear about sister plants, right? So if you have, for example, tomatoes and marigold, the marigold is going to help repel certain pests that would otherwise attack the tomatoes. Yes. And the other thing is, when you have a mixture of plants within the same garden, certain plants are going to attract to themselves these pests that would otherwise attack the friends. So that plays a great role when it comes to controlling pests and diseases. Remember, these pests are usually vectors that will cause a number of diseases to our plants or infections. Yeah, so you can choose to plant a particular plant with maybe a flower that you know is going to attract the pests to themselves, so that you can protect the other that you know you're going to benefit from, right? And of course, when you have a mix of these plants, guys, these things you normally thrive when they are with that particular plant that they always attack. But when you mix them up, you confuse them. You make the environment not very conducive for their survival, and eventually they'll disappear from the garden. So let us learn how to intercrop, or if you can, if you have larger space, you can also do crop rotation. Either way, it's going to help us to keep our soil fertility intact and also help to control these diseases and pests. For example, if you have again maize and black-eyed peas mixed together, you know, as much as the other one is draining the soil of nutrients, the other one is helping to fix one or two in place, so you get to benefit from both the plants. Yes, mulching is also another way to keep our soils fertile. I've talked about it before. When the mulch rot eventually, of course, it's going to turn into manure that is very beneficial to our soil. And the other thing is mulching prevents like splashes that would also contribute to the spread of already some infections that are in the soil onto the plants. And then it also prevents contact between certain pests from getting in contact with the plant itself. So it plays a number of roles for the soil and also in protection of the plant from these diseases or infections and pests. So yeah, that is one of the ways that mulching is important in our gardens. But you have to be very careful also when you do mulching, because moisture enhances fungal infections a lot. So everything has an advantage and a disadvantage, unfortunately. But if we know how to do these things, then we do it right. And should anything go south, then we know why. It is very important that we understand the science, the biology that works with these things. And of course, it is obvious that application of compost or manure in our gardens will definitely improve soil fertility. So that needs no explanations whatsoever. But the other thing that you can do is also apply green manure, because it produces substances that are going to help destroy certain pests that are within the soil, and also help us get rid of diseases that would actually eventually affect our plants. But generally, when our soil is kept fertile, then our plants are going to be healthier and more resistant to these diseases. Okay, and of course pests. You've seen plants that no matter how many times they're eaten, they still thrive and come back to life. So let us just make sure that our soil is kept fertile, and that will help us a lot in the fight against these pests and diseases. Of course, I have talked about one of the reasons as to why I keep my garden quite clean and neat. Yeah, I'm just obsessed with being hygienic and just clean and organized and neat. Yeah, that is an obsession, but there is also a reason behind all of that. When you keep your garden clean, then you eliminate things like, for example, slugs or snails that are hidden under these dry leaves that fall off from our plants, and also a number of other pests that might be hiding within. That helps a lot in eliminating these pests that would eventually finish our plants. If you see like rotten fruits or a particular branch that is infected, please make sure to remove those because that is going to contribute to your plant getting sick altogether. So let us learn to keep our gardens neat. That's a challenge for you guys. I've also talked about pruning. That is under maintenance of our gardens. So you do not expect a plant to be, especially with the perennials, you know. You've seen me always pruning off the old leaves, pruning off old branches or maybe infected branches. So pruning is very important, in helping us control pests and diseases. Because when you prune your plant, it's not only going to help it, of course, be in shape, like I talked before, it's also going to improve aeration. That is going to eliminate, places where these pests hide, and especially also fungal infections. So yes, when you prune your plant, you're going to improve aeration, besides, of course, putting it in shape, and you're going to destroy where these pests are actually hiding. The hiding places, they usually hide under certain leaves. So when you prune your plant and remove already infected parts of the plant, then of course you're going to prevent the spread of that particular infection to other parts of the plant. But also you're going to improve aeration. That is going to prevent certain infections like fungal infection, and reduce the hiding places for these other pests. Speaking of which, that reminds me, when you, for example, locate a plant, let's use tomatoes for example. If you see a particular tomato plant with bacterial wilt, you immediately go and get that out of the garden so that you can protect the others. So discard it somewhere that will not come in contact with the rest. That is how you eliminate, especially bacterial wilt. When it starts with one plant, it's going to spread to the others. So once you see one plant that is suffering from bacterial wilt, please make sure to remove it and discard it as far away as possible. And do not put it in your compost either, because you're just going to feed it there, and when you use it later on in a particular garden, still you're going to suffer from the same bacteria. So let us learn to eliminate sick plants from our gardens to reduce or control pests and diseases. Also, that takes me to the point of keeping our garden materials clean. For example, if you've just used a particular hole in a garden that has soil infected with bacterial wilt, for example, you do not go and use the same tool in another garden without rinsing it off somewhere, because you're going to take the same infection to the other part of the garden. So let us make sure that our tools, our garden tools, are often clean when we use them, because they contribute to the spread of diseases and pests in our gardens. That is simple, guys. There are a number of methods that people use to control pests and diseases in their gardens. Like I said, it is your choice which one you use, but I've shared with you at least those that do not involve chemicals. You can try those out as a beginner, and let's see what happens. Yeah, if you have an addition or subtraction or whatever else, please feel free to leave me a comment in the comment section. Engage with me. I'm always very happy, and I appreciate you guys so much for trying to engage with me in the comment section. Please leave me suggestions on the topics you want me to handle. That is very important, that I consider what you want me to talk about as well. So leave me a comment, leave me a like, so that we can engage with more people. We can grow and reach more people. We are going to post each and every day to compensate for all the times that we have missed, and I'll be so grateful for you to suggest topics on which you want me to handle. Of course, I have other things in mind, but you come first, and it always makes me very happy to know that I am helping one or two of you out there to thrive as an urban farmer. So thank you so much for watching, guys. I appreciate you a lot, and until tomorrow, bye bye.